tank of gas. Does he boots on the wood, let the whiskey pass? I ain't preaching from a pulpit, I'm talking.
And welcome once again to the FAFO Podcast. Guys, my guest today, and get this and pay close attention, he has built 11 businesses, had 9 exits, worked with more than 2,400 companies, ranging from neighborhood coffee shops to AT&T, and helped campaigns scale into 8, 9, 10 figures. Dave Valentine is the CEO of Finch, a TEDx speaker, a serial entrepreneur, and the author of The Marketer's Mind. But what caught my attention is that after spending more than a decade in marketing, Dave says most marketing problems aren't actually marketing problems. Sometimes your ads aren't broken. Sometimes people simply don't know what you're selling. Dave, welcome to the FAFO Podcast. Appreciate you coming here today, buddy.
So excited to be here, Chad.
No,
so good to chat with you, man.
No, it's great to chat with you because I got to tell you, I suck at marketing and I'm an author. Trying to get my stuff out there is the most writing a book wasn't this hard, but this is terrible. Like these things are terrible. How did you get into marketing?
Ooh, that's fun. Yeah. So when I was in high school, I had a mentor who said, "Hey, man, I think that you'd be good at this. Could you come build my company a website and maybe run our MySpace and Friendster page?" And man, I was 18 and I go, sure. And so started learning how to do that. And now when I tell my staff that, they go, what the heck is Friendster? And so, I was self-taught the whole way through, Chad, and learned how to do video editing. Like sincerely, the marketing guy that I was with, he goes, so here's Pinnacle Pro, and here's how you drag and drop things. Good luck. And that was all the training I got. So the rest was on me, man. And that's just kind of been my career story overall, is a lot of self-taught. I am not well credentialed, as my wife is super well credentialed and I'm not. And I've just kind of had to create my own credentials through the work that I've done. And I figured out pretty quick, man, like, hey, if I'm going to figure out anything, there are 2 skills that I really want to have to be successful in entrepreneurship. One is marketing, because, man, if you can generate leads, if you can get traffic to your site, you can sell stuff, man, that's key. And then the second one is sales. And so that's really what I honed in on.
I'm so excited about that too, because you're a man after my own heart, because everything that I've done, I had to be self-taught to do. I went to college and I learned nothing. And I went to Google you and YouTube you, and I've learned a ton just doing. So when you start, because this is something I do want to talk about before we really get into everything else, is people don't understand how much you can learn when you're interested in doing something. Dude. How did you, is that something that just, you said, hey, I need to find out how, let me learn it, what I need to learn?
Man, I knew that I didn't know, like I was in my late teens, early 20s, and I'm like, I know that I don't know.
Yeah.
And so all I did, man, was I was like, okay, who are trusted sources? And so back then it was mostly blogs, although there were a few podcasts that were out,
That's right.
It was blogs, a few podcasts, man. I went to conferences, like I paid my own way. I just decided that the best investment that I could make was in myself. I started, an Audible subscription. So I got a monthly book for, $16.95 or $15.95, whatever that is, right? And I still have that, by the way. Like I've just built up that library, hundreds of books over the past 20-ish years, And so it's like, I just decided that anytime that I was in a car, I was going to make it university time. Anytime that I was not with my wife, it was university time, right? Like that was just the game. And man, I tried to find free ways, cheap ways, and ways, and made some smart bets on, like, because there was a time where I didn't have any money, but I made the decision, right, to just really go, all right, I believe that I can learn these things and figure it out, and then I learned from some really great minds and got pretty good at what I was doing. And then in addition to that, man, like to your point, like I just made the decision, hey, I'm going to be the best in the world at this. And then that came true because I just decided, and I knew it was going to take time and effort.
And that's such a crazy thing too. And you'll have to forgive me of this crazy ass Chihuahua I got running around out here.
It's all good, brother.
This dog barks at one thing and one thing only, and it's my daughter's boyfriend for the last 4 years, and nobody knows why. He's just absolutely crazy. So when you're doing that and you're learning this and you start to gain that knowledge, why was marketing the thing? Why was it that really piqued your interest and you were going to develop that skill?
I love that, man. Well, I think it went back to a couple things. Number one, I knew that if I could market, generate leads, generate traffic, again, I knew that that's like the precursor to getting sales done, right? And so then the second part of that was I really love the creativity of marketing. Sincerely, like it's an infinite game. There's always a problem to solve. You're able to take creative elements, mix it with some mathematical elements of like ad buying, which is one of the things that my agency does. And that marriage of math and creativity, man, I am that guy. I was the guy that was really good at algebra and calculus and that sort of thing, and also could write a pretty killer paper. And so I was a varsity athlete as a freshman, and I also did theater arts, man. Like I just never kind of fit into one group, and I just kind of had this feeling of, man, marketing is this really fun marriage of creative endeavors matched with commercial endeavors together. And man, my staff's kind of the same at this point. Like and they're all over the world, man. We've got guys in New Zealand, we've got guys people in Australia, we have people in all over Europe, Latin America, and the United States. And it's really interesting, brother. They all have a creative project, a creative endeavor outside of work. Could be, man, they're making like little clay pottery. Could be that they're writing their own books, like yourself, man. Could be that they're really into running their own social media platform or painting or whatever. And so it's a fun marriage of creativity and commerce.
That's so cool. I love that. And because I'm so much the same way, I always tell everybody I'm such a nerd, but I love athletics and grew up doing that stuff. And it's amazing how many people will just pigeonhole themselves into you have to be one thing. And I am so not that way. And it sounds like you are definitely not that way.
Yeah, man. Like I and it's fun doing marketing too, especially having worked with so many different clients, brother. Like I'm the least credentialed, most interesting person at any party, because if someone goes, man, I'm in power washing, I'm like, oh dude, I've worked with a number of power washing companies. I know all about them and how it's different than pressure washing. And what system are you using? And like, I can talk to them about that. And they're like, wait, aren't you in marketing? I'm like, yeah. And then somebody else will pop up and they'll be like, man, I own this set of coffee shops. I'm like, oh man, I've worked with a few coffee shops. What kind of espresso machine are y'all using? Or do you guys feel like you get enough pressure? Did you guys have to do any work on getting the water pressure kicked up before you moved into the spot? And they're like, how the hell do you know that, man? And so it's really fun to work with these different people, brother, and just be like, man, figuring out their problems, how to solve for some of those, and then really helping them grow their business. I'm just a firm believer too. I've worked with some large companies, and I love working with the smaller businesses and the growing businesses, man, because I said this recently. I was in Atlanta seeing a client last week, and they're having a big launch party, and standing in front of 350 people, and they said, hey Dave, why do you do what you do? And I go, because man, I am a firm believer that no matter what political party you ascribe to in the States, neither of them are coming to save us. They're just not. They're all self-interested.
That's right.
So the only way that we're going to fix a lot of the things that are wrong, we're just going to have to do it ourselves. And guess what? I'd put our entrepreneurial power up to compared to anyone in the world. We're great at it, and we're just going to have to fix it ourselves. So, man, I work with small and growing businesses all the time because I'm like, man, we're going to create better jobs because we always do. We pay our people more. We give them better benefits. Like so many positive things come out of small and growing businesses in the States, man, and we need more of us to be wildly successful to really start righting some of those wrongs, man.
I totally agree, because it's a wild thing. Like I'm such a huge proponent of small businesses. It's just one of the things I think is the backbone of our society, especially here in the States.
Preach,
I mean,
brother.
This country is built off of that. It's not the large corporations that built this country. It's that small business owner is everything. And to have guys like you who can go to bat for them and help them. Because I think there's a large contingency of business owners, unfortunately, And I had this conversation with a guest yesterday that just don't understand and aren't aware of what is out there to help them succeed in their business. Do you find that a lot?
Totally. Oh yeah, man. I mean, you know, the thing that happens for most small business owners, this is how they get started, you know, really, is that they're a great practitioner of whatever they're doing. Could be plumbing, could be marketing, could be accounting, could be anything, right? And they go, man, I'm pretty good at this and I'm tired of working for that guy or this woman or whoever, right? And they're like, I think I could do it better and I think I'd enjoy it more. And so what ends up happening is they're great practitioners in their space, but you know, man, and I know this, like running a business means I have to be decently good at accounting. I got to be okay at marketing. I got to know how to sell. I got to, I got to know what the rules and regulations are for my industry and be able to submit files for that and information. Like, dude, it's a complex, tangled web that all of a sudden, the moment that you decide to do it, boom, you now have to be good enough at all these different things until you get to a size where you can start hiring that out. Oh, okay, we got a bookkeeper and now we got a tax guy, and that's great. And so what ends up happening a lot, man, is I go do a lot of free work with a number of different organizations that are designed to support small businesses.
Oh, cool.
Man. Yeah, well, it's one of those things, brother. Like everybody needs access to information.
Yes.
And yeah, so many people don't know that there's just a boatload of help that's free out there. And you got to go looking, and sometimes it's nice to have a guide just be like, hey man, look here, look there. This is right there waiting for you. So,
and I think that's great because I also think a lot of business people don't understand, like, well, I have to go out and have to spend all this money I really don't have because I'm already launching this business, instead of saying, you know, I can scale this. I don't have to start at the top. I can work this up so my business stays afloat and I can be successful. I am always amazed at the entrepreneur mindset and just how many people get into that space and become a small business or whatever and just are overwhelmed because all of a sudden they realize exactly what they do not know, and then they just quit because they don't think they have a way to go.
Right.
So when
man, there's so much more help, and there's so many, you know, man. And it's like, there are people that, so I do this all the time. People reach out to me and they'll be like, Dave, can I get 30 minutes of your time? And I say, yes. And they go, dude, I can't pay you. And I go, I don't care. I'm just, you're doing it, you know? And I had this guy do this a while back. He reached out and he goes, man, I saw your LinkedIn post. I don't have any money. Can I just talk to you? I was like, bro, of course. He and I have become good friends. I helped him exit his business because he built it up enough over like a course of time. And he's like, dude, I have the opportunity for somebody else to buy this. Should I sell it? And I'm like, what would you do if you don't? And he's like, well, I think I go do this or that. And I'm like, bro, sell it and then do the next thing. And he was like, really? And I go, bro, that's a win.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, you're going to do it better next time. You're not going to have all these other issues, and take a vacation, take a month off, and then come back. And he was like, oh, dude. So he was able to sell it. He didn't make a ton of money, but he made 250 grand, you know? And he was like, he's already back doing the next thing, and he's way better now. And it's like, man, we all need a little bit of help, and everybody can help out a little bit in their sphere of influence and their expertise, man. So yeah, I think it's showing up for those people as much as we can.
I love that. Where do you think this mindset of yours came from? Is that something is instilled in you as a child, or did something that you see go, oh, you know what? I might have to, there's something here I could help people with. How does that come about? Because I don't think people truly understand that. They say that people get into it, well, he's only doing it because he saw an opportunity, and I don't mean from the workspace. I mean from the actual mindset itself as to who you are as a person. Yeah.
So, well, number one, I grew up, my dad was a pilot in the Air Force, and I watched, but before he did that, I was born super early in my parents' life. My parents are still together, which is remarkable. And they were truly kids when they had me, right? And my dad owned a lawn care service when he was still in college, and I was around as a kid. So I knew that he owned a small business. He employed a couple dozen guys, and he sold it when he went to pilot training. And so then when we were in the Air Force, we're moving around all the time. My dad was like, hey, Dave, I was 10, And he had always talked to me like, hey, go start a business. It helps people. You can give people jobs. So the first business that I started, man, I was 10 years old. I started selling candy bars, pens, pencils, and erasers out of my backpack at school. Because what would happen, is that people didn't bring a pen, they didn't bring a pencil, whatever. And so sell it to them for 25 cents, 50 cents. I'd make a 50% profit. My dad gave me a loan for $5. And he goes, hey, man, figure out what you want to buy. I'll help you figure it out. And then you're going to double the price. You're going to pay me back. And they're going to use that next $5 to get the next, set of inventory. And then you can make money from there. And so I kind of got it early on. And my parents really, my grandparents, everybody that was kind of around, even though we moved across the country, I got to see my grandparents a good bit. Man, there's just always been a heartbeat in my family on both sides. Like, do well. Like financially, do well education wise, and then take care of people. I remember my dad when I was probably 18, 19, I said, hey man, like how much money should I save? How much money should I have as like an emergency savings to help somebody out? And he goes, man, you want to have enough money that if you saw a single mom with bald tires on her vehicle, you could just say, hey, I'm going to pay for the tires. Don't worry about it. Let me fill up the gas tank. I'm taking care of you. And so it's just a part of my family's culture that, dude, we're generous, we're thoughtful, and we're always going to try and help people out because we think that that's the way to go, brother.
I love that. That's the coolest mindset, too. I'm such a fan of that mindset because they're so,
Thanks,
because sadly, the overwhelming majority amount of people don't have that same mindset. I think there's a caring gene to everybody to a degree, but that is really
Absolutely.
a unique mindset to say, it's not just all about me. One of my best friends is a doctor. We couldn't be further apart on the society spectrum, but we are friends because our mindsets are really the same, and you find that common ground and you do that. And he's one of those who just wants to help people.
Yeah.
And I love that whole deal. So when you're doing these businesses and helping these people out, I mean, you've helped so many people and make so much money in these businesses. Is there real gratitude on that other end that you meet? Do you run up against, true gratitude from people you actually helped to say, Dave, it changed my life?
Yeah. I mean, for the people that get it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I've gotten phone calls from spouses that I had never spoken to before. I've gotten gifts in the mail randomly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I went to I helped a company. They were getting this is years ago now, Chad. This is a fun one though. I had this company that was getting maliciously attacked by fake bots on Facebook and Instagram, and it took their business. They had done 7 million the year before. It had taken it down to 4.5, and that changed their staff dynamics, and it was a big problem,
man.
And so they called me and they're like, how do we solve, like, how can we figure this out? So we created a campaign. We ran this crazy cool creative thing, and we were able to also shut down the trolls by using our contacts at Meta to really we were like, hey, look, these people are not real. We can tell they're not real, and so we got those things shut down. They went from 4.5 million that down year, and remember they had done 7 the year before. They ended up doing 9.5 that next year. And the owner, she came to me and she's choked up, and she goes, hey, we didn't just hit our goal, we hit our stretch goal. We didn't just hit our stretch goal, we hit our stretch goal because we didn't think that this was possible for you to help us turn this around this much based off what's going on. By the way, there was like lawsuits and all this other stuff that ended up going down. They ended up getting millions of dollars from competitors doing this to them. But she said, hey, because we did that, every person on our staff got a brand new, super nice at the time, right?
Yeah.
A 55-inch TV.
Woo.
I got you one too.
Oh man,
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, man. I mean, like,
Oh, that's
I still have
cool.
it, by the way.
That's
And
awesome.
so yeah, man, there are a lot of people that get it. They're like, hey, you did a great job. You changed my life. It transformed. And then there are people that are like, yeah, you did your job.
Appreciate
You
it.
know, and so like, yeah, appreciate it. Cool.
Yeah.
And they move on. And like, it's also fine because I also understand that everybody's on their own hero's journey.
That's
you know,
it.
Man?
That is
So,
very, very true.
yeah.
And that's why I asked that question, because there's so many people who really do have gratitude. They really do appreciate what others bring to the table and what they do, and their experience and their expertise. Like, and I'll just tell you this quick story. It's on a way smaller scale than $7 million. I have a YouTube channel like every other human being now does, I guess, as a content creator, supposedly. And I was doing a stream yesterday, and I looked. We just started a stream. 5 minutes in, I already had 195 dislikes. Now,
Whoa.
mind you, I only have 12 people on the stream. So,
Yeah, so that's magic.
so I don't
Yeah.
know how that math worked.
Right. Right.
But you do see problems like that all the time and things like that all the time. And the people who are on my stream are just so loyal. They're so funny. But they're like, how does that work? You're being robbed. I'm like, guys, trust me, I'm not doing this YouTube stream to make money, because I would have to actually do it 24/7, and I'm not interested in that. You know, I've got my podcast I want to build and all that, but it is walls that are out there that a lot of people don't know how to navigate. They see that, they see something happen like that, and they just melt. Like, and so I can't imagine that on a scale where you're losing millions.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Again, it goes back to the reason why I love working with small and growing businesses, man, is like she cut her pay to zero and to keep more people around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She kept working her job, and she was like, I got to cut my pay to zero so that I keep people employed. And she did. She didn't lay a single person off.
Oh, kudos to her. She's already a hero in my book then.
Oh, dude, she's incredible. And so I think it's one of those things, man, where like she's having this weird, crazy thing happen from a competitor. It got proved later in court, the whole thing. And in that moment, because court takes a long freaking time, took years.
Jeez.
In that moment, she needed somebody like me who was like, I know that we can win. I know that this will work. It's above board, and this is how we're going to do it.
That's awesome. So is it hard for you sometimes? Because you sound like such a positive human being, and which is so refreshing because there's so much negativity everywhere. It's just coming at you all from all sides. Is it sometimes hard for you to stay that positive, or is that really your secret sauce for getting things done? Is being able to see the positive side of this and look at it from that point of view?
I truly believe that the entire universe, not just our planet, is infinite in resources. That includes happiness, goodness, love, joy, peace, all of them, right?
Yeah.
And so I just look at it, man. I'm like, it's easy to be cynical. It's easy to be angry. It's easy to be frustrated. I'm not saying I don't experience that sometimes.
Sure.
For sure. Of course. I'm still a person.
That's right.
And man, like, dude, I have a rule, which is I can have a terrible day and it ends that night. So when I lay my head on the pillow that night, dude, the next morning I'm popping up. Let's go. Let's kick butt. Let's move. Because like, that's what we need in the world.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have bad days, and it's okay to be frustrated, and all that's cool. But man, it sure is a lot more fun to be energetic and full of life. And like, hey man, I get to do this today. I get to wake up and I get to help small businesses grow. I get to wake up and I get to work with some amazing humans. Some of them are my closest friends that like, man, our families are close. We hang out together. We go on vacations. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What could be better, brother? What could be better?
And that is cool too, because the people you meet along your journey is so, that's what you never expect growing up. You're really not taught that growing up, because it's not a thing that really exists in your small little world as a child growing up into a teenager, a young adult. But as you experience things like this, you're either going to gain enemies because of your attitude, or you're going to gain family because of your attitude.
That's it.
And we see that a lot. And I love your approach that you've taken more of that familial type of role when you're working with people. That is brilliant. So let's talk about the marketing mind.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this book.
The Marketer's Mind. It's a book I've been working on for 3 years. And it came out of a conversation with my now business partner. She and I have worked at 2 previous spots before this, and she had worked for me. And then at Finch, she and I worked together and co-own and co-run that. And before she left, I was selling a business that she was working at, and I told her, and she had really gone from having no experience in marketing to being the best employee I've ever had.
Wow.
And so I was curious, like, hey, what, in our time together, what was really impactful? What was something that you learned from me or from our time together that really helped you? And that, what she told me, shocked me. It's something called spiral dynamics, which is like a way to understand people going through. It's almost like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but maybe on steroids. It's a little bit more than that. You can use it in marketing really, really well. It's a great heuristic for that. And so I took that idea and I started like writing on this trip that we were taking with my family. And my wife was driving in the morning, and so we'd switch in the afternoon, but in the morning we'd get coffee and hit the road, and I just started writing. And I started stream of conscious, just getting all of it out. And so 2 days of driving to a friend's wedding, stayed there for a bit, 2 days of driving back. And over the course of 4 days or 4 mornings, I wrote 25,000 words.
Woo,
and I went,
there you go.
Wow, there's something here,
Yeah.
And so really started putting together, okay, what is it that makes my approach towards marketing unique? Why does it work so well? And I know that you have, Chad, but if you're listening and you've never written a book, it can be a deeply introspective experience. And I found that to be true in all of my writing at this point. And so the Marketer's Mind is I didn't write a book about tactics. It's not teaching you how to run better meta ads or better Google ads or how to do search engine optimization. That is not it. It is really teaching people how to see differently, because that's really where it comes down to who wins and who loses. I've seen so many businesses win. I've seen so many businesses lose. And the thing that differentiates the winners from the losers is not how good their Facebook advertising agency was doing their ad buying or how well their blogs were written. It was something upstream of that. And the upstream is usually something that's so seemingly obscure, but so vital to winning or losing. And it's really understanding, who are you selling to and why does this thing matter? Why does it matter? Whether it's a service or a product, what is the reason that they would say, yeah, I got to have that? And if you can figure that out and hone that in, and that's what the entire book is really about, is figuring that out and honing that in, you can sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves, as Tommy Boy would say. So, yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that. Obviously, I'm getting your book. So
appreciate that.
I've got to have it. But not only that, but it just sounds like that would be I would love, just talking to you, that would be a fun read, I think, regardless.
Yeah.
I think it'd be an interesting read, because marketing is difficult. I have struggled mightily, and I'm not even sugarcoating it, and I consider myself halfway intelligent. I mean, I'm a little above caveman level, but still I kind of know my way around a computer. So I'm like, You can do this. And then the more I get into it, the more I'm like, you know what? That hamster keeps falling off its wheel in my head, and I don't know how to keep his butt on track. So do you come against that kind of frustration a lot when you're dealing with people who are trying to market, or they're just like, oh my God, I can't deal with this anymore?
I hear so often, Chad, and then I don't hear this, but I feel it from people too. There's this constant belief amongst people. They're like, I'm a smart person. I'm really good at this other thing. I understand people. Why can't I get this marketing thing down?
Yeah.
And it's like, because it takes time, and it's trial and error, and it's being like, I know that I just hit my head on the wall, but I'm going to try it again. And that's what it is, because the platforms, especially on digital, y'all, they change all the time. Like And they don't announce changes in this nice, like, hey, by the way, just so you know, this is what we're changing. They're like, hey, we're changing a couple things here that you're going to be able to clearly see, but there's like 170 things that we're not telling you that we're changing and we're not going to talk about. And then you're still going to experience the negative and or positive consequences of that. And most of the time they're negative, because the reality, and I think that this is key too, man, is like every single platform is working in their best interest at all times.
Oh, yeah.
They're never working on your benefit. Anytime that they are like, hey, we want to help you, they want to help you enough so that you make enough money so that you don't leave, but not too much so that you make so much money that they're not capitalizing on more ad revenue from you or more revenue from like having additional emails or whatever that is, right? So it's one of those things where I just go back to, man, you do have to not only know how to do it, you also have to have the mindset of it's always going to change. I'm going to have to figure it out and refigure it out and refigure it out over and over and over again. It's just part of the game.
And what's funny is, and I'll tell you this, before we got on here, I've been marketing my new book, or I've been for set up my new book for releasing to bookstores. I've never done it yet, and I've been doing this for a while. I'm like, I'm going to try this because I'm self-published. And I'm like, all right, how can I do this? So I'll go with this company. And I've had this book published on Ingram and then on Amazon as different, because it's some weird thing that you have to do. And I finally figured out how to do it. I was proud.
Yep.
But then I get in there for that you enable worldwide distribution. You go look at it. And I'm like, how come I have to charge so much more for this over here? And they're just going to, if they really want it, they're probably going to go to Amazon then if they see this price. But I can't get it into bookstores if it's on Amazon. And so I have to charge more over here, and they want a 55% discount to bring it into their store. I'm like, oh my God. And I started to get frustrated. I'm like, you know what? This is just the cost of getting your stuff out there and making a name for yourself. And at some point, you're just going to have to do this. So I went through it. I changed my mindset on it. I said, okay, stop overthinking it and doing it. Do you see a lot of that with people where they just have to get out of their head a little bit and just work through the problem and go, we got to do this.
Yeah. I mean, it's at some point, like, that is what separates people that succeed from people that don't. It's not, I've seen, by the way, like, this is worth mentioning too. I've seen far more really unintelligent humans be exceptionally wealthy and successful in business than I have seen really smart guys and women be really successful in business. And I think that part of that is, as a smart person, it's easy to overthink it. It's also easy to take on all of the things and do it ourselves because we're highly competent, right?
Yes.
Instead of being lazy. And so one of the things that I've also seen, Chad, is like there's this idea of, man, when it's just you're solopreneur in it, you have to be like, man, I got to go do the thing. And eventually there's a point in time where you're like, I'm going to leverage other people to get that done. And you still have to have the same mentality that you're talking about, where you're like, I just decided. And man, I remember when I just decided that I was going to be massively successful in business, and then it happened, like immediately. And I do feel like there were tests along the way that I had to pass in order for that to happen. So for me, in my first business, it was buying out my good friend and business partner at the time. And I knew it was going to be really terrifyingly devastating to our friendship. And it was. Dude, I tripled the revenue that year. The first 12 months that he's gone, I tripled the revenue. And it wasn't because anything else happened other than I decided that I was no longer going to carry his dead weight.
Yep.
He wanted something different. I love him. I wish him all the best. I want him to go do his thing. And I was building a business for my family to thrive with. He was building a business so he didn't have to work that hard. Different ideas.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just like, man, you need to go do your own thing. Let me buy you out. You go do that. I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to blow it way up. And so I just did, man. And I think that it does require a person to decide and then continue to remind and reiterate, man, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to be successful. I'm just going to win.
I think so too. I think there is that mindset that winners have, and people who succeed have, is going, I can do this, and I've got to do this, and I've got to stop thinking about the what ifs. And this is, what if I fail? Because there's a lot of that too. Like I guess I read The Secret, like so many people have, but I take a lot of that to heart. what you put out, you
100%.
get back. And I just, it's
Yep.
like with what you said with the universe earlier. And I think that is the successful mindset is if you're going to have a negative defeatist attitude, that's what's going to happen to you.
100%.
And you see that everywhere. Have you ever come up against somebody where you're like, this is my FAFO moment with these people? When I'm trying to get them to understand what's happening here. Have you ever run into that? I'm sure you had to, right?
Oh yeah, so many times. I mean, I have. I'm trying to think of a good one here, Chad, because I've got so many. There was this one guy that is this one client. They had a boatload of cash funded, and he was just an egomaniac. I mean, just truly. I'm not trying to be mean.
No, but that exists.
He just thought that if he wasn't in, he's a product designer. He was, and it's like he wanted to be Steve Jobs. And I had to sit down and I indulged some of that for a while, truthfully.
Sure.
And I was like, cool, man, let's set you up some stuff. Let's do some of this. And they were paying us a lot of money. And eventually I just looked at him and I go, hey man, you're not Steve Jobs yet. You're just not. And you don't sound like him and you don't look like him and you haven't had the success and you're not going to, just throwing that in your face. Sorry, brother. You're not going to have his levels of success because you're not equipped to do that. So here's what we need to do instead. And he did not take that well.
Oh, I'll bet.
But the thing that did happen, Chad, that was really interesting was he complained about us to the board, his board that was in charge.
Uh-oh.
And they said, Dave's right. And so I got called in and flown in, and we had a private meeting, and he got ousted as the CEO and one of the founders. And they said, dude, you can sit on the board, you can keep your stock, but you're gone because Dave's right. And so, yeah, you can have those moments, man.
And that's what happens. I mean, and that's so sad too when you can't get out of your own way.
Dude.
I'm a professional wrestler, and I have been for 30 years, and it's a very egocentric and ego-driven type of business. I mean, you're your own brand, and that's what it is. You're an entertainer who's their own brand, and that's what you have to do. It's very egotistical. But at the same time, you as a person don't have to be egotistical. But I run up against so many superstars who nobody knows.
Yeah,
it's one of those things, and I run across that in business too. So when you're dealing with people who are the opposite of that, though, who look, I know what I see here, but I know this can be successful. How do I do it? Just Dave, how does this happen? Because sometimes it's hard to ask for help.
Oh man, it takes courage.
Yeah.
It takes courage to ask for help. It takes humility to ask for help. It's hard. Especially when you're really talented, you're really good at what you do. It's like, it's hard. When that happens, man, you talk about getting the best out of a team.
Yeah.
My team and I we'll go through a freaking wall for those people. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we're like, hey, we get it. We understand what you're doing. I had a conversation with a client, last week. I was not the client that I was seeing in Atlanta, but a different one. And he told me his story. And this is prototypical entrepreneurship stories, by the way. Man, this guy had three different businesses that were each doing over $50 million a year in revenue.
Woo!
And he had people that he had in charge of those, and he kind of took some time to go spend time with his kiddos and spend time with his wife and go live his life a little bit. And he was checking in on the bank account, and it kept rising. And anyways, long story short, the people that were running it committed some fraud when he wasn't around and watching. And so then he's come back and he's had to reset his entire life. And man, he's telling me how we as an agency are helping him change his life, because he's like, dude, we just haven't had money in forever because of this thing. And he gave me all the details, and I was like, dang. And he goes, so when I came to you last year, he was at $0 in revenue for his new business, and it was October of last year. And he goes, Dave, I came to you guys and I said, I don't know what to do. I'm trusting that y'all can do it. Figure it out for me, please. So he started it. We were at 0 last October. In July, he did $435,000 in revenue.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, how the hell? And he just looked at me and he's like, dude, that's just, like we provide a great product, but y'all are doing it. And I'm like, hey man, you told us to go help you win. And so we did. And so it's really fun whenever you do have experts that you can trust, man.
Yeah.
And you can just go to them and say, look, help me figure this out. Here's what I need to do. I need to make $3 for every dollar that I put into this thing in total. As long as we're above that line, I've got more money for you. Cool, man. Let's get it figured out.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. So I know I've kept you for probably far longer than I should. But let me ask you about Finch though, real quick, because we haven't talked really about it. You mentioned it, so let's talk about Finch. How did Finch come about, and how much do you love the company? Let's talk about that.
So Finch got launched in 2008, and it was launched as a SaaS product that was designed to help people find shopping items on Google. And so it was running what's called Performance Max campaigns before Performance Max got launched in 2019. Once that got launched in 2019, they then became like a service provider because Google had taken what they had made as a software and just put it on their platform. And so they said, okay, well, now we have to just be a service provider. It went through, a couple hands. And then in the summer of 2024, I was consulting. I'd sold 8 businesses in early 2023. And I'm kind of like, what do I do with my time? So I decided to do a little bit of consulting. My wife was like, you have to do something and get out of the house. So I start consulting with Finch, and we immediately start getting wins. And it just becomes like a conversation of, Dave, would you come run this? And I was like, A, you don't want to do that. B, I'm expensive. I said, yes, we do want to do that. And just tell us how much you want and we'll figure it out. So picked up some equity, picked up a nice comp package, and really took over in earnest as the full-time leader at Finch on April 1st of 25.
Nice.
When we took it over, it was losing $220,000 a month. By October of last year, we profited $180,000. So it was a $400,000 per month swing. I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it because the people are fantastic. The clients are great. We do great work. We get to help so many businesses across the globe win. And man, I was literally talking with my business partner just before this call, Chad. And I told her, I was like, it is such a joy to get to work together and to get to do this here and to work with this team. I absolutely love it.
That's cool,
like,
man.
Do I?
That's cool. God bless you, bro. That's awesome. The fact that you get to do that and enjoy your life and be able to, again, the backdrop there is just gorgeous, by the way. That's the dream.
Thanks,
because it is beautiful. Do you ever look back at your life and go, wow? Because you're still relatively young. I mean, it's not like you're an old person or anything. But do you ever look back and just goes, wow, look where I came from and where I'm at in this journey so far, and it's not even near over.
Yeah, I just turned 39.
Youngster.
And it's yeah, man, it's wild. Like I can't believe a lot of times I really can't believe where I am and where I've come from, man, like, and how quickly it happened. And my family and my friends all go, yeah, it makes sense. And yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, dude, I'm so blessed beyond belief, man. And it hasn't always been easy. Been a lot of challenges along the way. And also, dude, like, yeah, I live in the rainforest of Southwest Washington State in the foothills of the Cascades. My childhood self is pinching himself every day when he wakes up in the morning, because this is what he dreamed about, man, was living out here. I'm a Texas boy that lives in the Pacific Northwest. The salmon spawn 30 feet off my back deck,
my
man. Like,
God.
you can't. I mean, it's dreamland is where I live. It's not fair.
That's beautiful, dude. I'm as a fellow Texan, I envy you. Because I didn't get to Washington State. I got to North Mississippi, which is where I'm at right now. So I feel a little short, but that's okay.
Yeah. I've spent some time there.
So
Yeah.
still plenty of road left. But it has been such a pleasure talking to you. You seem like such a great human being, Dave. How do people, if they want to work with you or they just want to get to know you and follow your company, how do they do that?
Yeah, so people can reach out to me personally, dave.valentine@finch.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn. I post content on a regular basis, and The Marketer's Mind you can find on Amazon and soon on Audible. So if y'all want to check that out there, you can as well.
So are you doing the reading on that? Or you got somebody else doing it?
Oh, no, I'm doing the reading on that one, man.
How did you enjoy that? How did you enjoy that?
So I'm in process right now. So it's been fun so far. For me, I've always enjoyed audiobooks, man. And I have a real hard, I have to really, 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 really want to consume the book if the author's not reading it and I buy it still.
Yeah.
So, man, I think anytime the author reads it, it just elevates it. And it's funny. My sister-in-law got a book deal and she just recorded her audiobook, and I think it took her 4 days, and she didn't realize that she was saying a word incorrectly, like pronouncing it incorrectly, and she is now having a minor meltdown in the family chat where she's like, how did none of you ever tell me that I said this wrong? We're like, I don't think you've ever said that word. It's fun recording an audiobook and just hearing how you sound and how do you pronounce words and that sort of thing. It's a good time.
That's great. Dave, I appreciate your time today, brother, and all the best to you and your family. And hopefully we can talk again down the road, because I'm going to go check out your book. I'll get your book because I need to know. And who knows if I might be reaching out to you. It sounds like I may here in the near future, because good Lord, these cavemen, we need it. We need help.
I love it, Chad. Well, thanks for having me on, brother. This has been fun.
All right, thanks, bro. We'll talk to you down the road. All right, guys, gals. Wow, what a great guest. Let me tell you something. We need more people like Dave. We need more people like this man in our lives, right? I mean, because why not? The attitude, the outlook, the success, and how he helps other people, which is something we should all be striving to do. And I know we talk about the FAFO podcast and everybody thinks it's a cool name, but the reason this podcast exists is to give other people a voice, give them an outlet. And that's what it's all about. And to be able to help other people achieve something. And it was definitely, it's a blessing to have Dave on here, because that helps us out in ways you probably don't even understand. But it definitely does. And it's very inspiring. And I hope you were inspired by this. Go check out Dave. You've been listening to the FAFO podcast. Facts, truth, no BS. Let's up and go. See you guys next time.
Four on the floor, have a tank of gas. Does he boots on the wood, let the whiskey pass. I ain't preaching from a pulpit, I'm talking from the scar. You can dress up a lie, but it won't get far. They call it toxic.